Hello and welcome back to the Avengers. Last time we played as the Hulk and managed to start smashing our way through this AIM facility in the hope of finding J.A.R.V.I.S. Had to stop and think for a moment. And then Dr. Tarleton triggered some form of reactor. That was close. And that resulted in Hulk having to flee because it was releasing some form of radiation that was hurting him. And during all that, Kamala was sneaking around, and now we get to play as her again. And we have to flip these switches first. Let's see, what can we do? A good... Nope, I can't even land a good hit. I am a bit rusty, so I have to figure out what I gotta do again. Okay, that's kind of bunk. That just works. Alright, let's reposition for a second. There we go.
Generators online. Please activate main systems.
Guess I've got to keep flipping switches to get the power on.
I was watching an interesting series this guy had done, I think it was Comics Explained, going over characters too powerful for the MCU. And it's funny because a lot of them end up being... Where is my... There. But with a lot of them being like the same characters. For instance, they had... There's a version of Thor where he becomes the Herald of Galactus. And there's a version where it's Rune God Thor, where he essentially takes over for Odin, because Odin dies and becomes what's known as the Odin Force. And I had thought about it, and I was like, it'd be cool to introduce these, but it almost feels pointless to even mention them as possibilities, like, oh, they're too powerful. There's also, like, the logistics of it. I was talking to a friend about it, and I had said, to do it would be so difficult because you have to... First thing you'd have to do is introduce, like, the Odin Force. Then you'd have to introduce other characters that the whole series dealing with Rune King Thor, or Rune God Thor, tie into. So you'd have to introduce I think it's the Beyonders. You'd have to introduce the... What are they called? One Above All. You'd have to introduce the Living Tribunal. You'd have to introduce all these characters who would almost, in this context, exist just to explain stuff, even though they by themselves are far more powerful than any of the characters we've seen so far. Like, one above all is like the creator.
Please activate secondary systems.
Then you have the Beyonders, who are effectively super... They can fight and beat anything in the MCU, but even then there's some things that can beat them, and just... It feels like Dragon Ball Z to a point, because it becomes, oh, well, there's this guy who's powerful, but now there's this guy who's even more powerful.
Right?
And it's always been my gripe with a lot of comics and stuff that you end up reaching a point where it's one character who's just absurdly powerful because they can't explain anything past that. Like, oh, why are they fighting like weaker guys, or wasn't this hero stronger before? And you can't keep depowering your heroes with every new enemy.
Portals unlocking.
That door should open now. Please be here, Jarvis. Maybe he's hiding somewhere in this super cool pile of Avengers stuff. I think this belonged to Thor. Maybe it's a secret lever? Oh, no, it's just a cup.
But they also, like, the list had, I'm trying to think, there was Scarlet Witch, but only from the, God, what was it?
Shield. This was on display at A-Day. You don't open a
Other
secret
M,
passageway,
I think.
do you?
It was a series where
try.
Scarlet Witch effectively said, hey, she literally, in the comics, said, like, no more mutants, and stripped 98% of all mutants of their power. Which, if you think that's a dumb, like, story, yeah, it kinda is.
West Coast office. Huh, surprised he kept this. Still no sign of Jarvis.
I'm gonna have to go through and retool my gear now. I know where I have to go, it's just I want to make sure I get everything. Like, there was the comic that I didn't get when I played initially.
I know I shouldn't be freaking out right now, but I'm freaking out. Tony Stark's guitar!
But there was a lot of them. There was... I think it was Planet Hulk version of Hulk. There was... Maestro
What?
Hulk.
Did he plan to come back for all this someday?
Which, Maestro Hulk, if you take, like... I would say Infinity War Hulk, where he's
when you can afford the real
got...
thing? I should keep looking.
He's got Bruce Banner's intelligence. That you have that, but imagine him having traveled the galaxy, becoming a warlord. And that's effectively Maestro. Which, of course, characters like that are too powerful. I mean, even within the comics, like, Hulk should be more powerful than Thanos, because the longer he fights, the angrier he gets, and his power scales. So he would, as long as he's angry, he can have effectively infinite power, and could then just, like, rip Thanos' arm off with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Looking sharp, guys. No way. Jarvis. Now to find Hulk and get out of here.
Like you could fit anything on a 1998 hard drive.
Why don't you let me have that?
I don't think so.
Disappointing. Welcome back to the lab. You're not looking well. All units, find the girl and stay out of my way.
Abomination, that's Emil Blonsky.
Different.
Okay, so I have to jump to dodge those.
Gets Banner inside of you, isn't it? And his guilt.
Rocks. This is one way to beat Abomination, by just throwing as many stones at him as possible. Then with Abomination, originally Emil Blonsky was a Soviet spy who ended up being exposed to radiation the same way Bruce Banner was. And him working with AIM actually fits within canon. He did work for AIM. Which, if we're going over characters who worked for AIM, that would mean we might see Scientist Supreme, Superia, we might see Graviton. Past that, I'm not exactly sure who, because AIM kind of just had like a small stable of like hero, or well, not even heroes, but villains. So it's kind of limiting in what you can use or what you'll see from AIM.
Maybe you're not an ape after all. It's too kind a word for a grotesque thing like you.
I found the archive schematic. I think I can find my way to you.
Can't wait for her to join us. Yes, can you feel it? The power here. This is where I evolved.
But of course, everything I know, like a lot of stuff with like Blonsky, that's old stuff. I don't even know like his current origin.
Is it dead? Hey, where are we anyway? Right, I'm talking to myself. Okay. Show me your secrets.
Case 705. According to our lead scientist, we have successfully reverse-engineered Terrigen gas.
What? Wait, please.
Calm down. In a moment, this will all be over. Administer the cure.
What does that mean?
You're hurting him.
Please. Please stop. Where am I?
A promising result. Case 705 has made a remarkable recovery and will be monitored for the next 24 hours. Congratulations. You've been cured.
Impossible.
We should get out of here. It isn't safe.
Yeah. Sure.
Like how Bruce has clothes.
Well, you can feel free to make it a little more homey.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah. You good? I'm not used to you being this quiet.
Yeah, it's nothing.
Okay. Okay. Good. So, yeah.
What if it's real?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
The cure. What if it's real? I mean, it looks real, but what if I could be normal again?
It didn't work like that.
I mean, you saw them. It looks like it really hurts, but maybe that's worth it?
Kamala,
I never really fit in before. I mean, superheroes were my world, and I figured if I could just win that fan fiction competition, you know, then everything would just be... It doesn't matter. Now look at me. I'm a freak.
whoa, you're not a... What you did back there. Hey. What you did back there took a lot of guts. Stupid. But it still took guts. And not a lot of people could, do that.
Good isn't a thing you are.
What?
It's nothing. Thank you. This room is really great.
Okay.
Or it will be. I mean,
Okay.
look at it.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Good.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, I'll go do other things.
All right. Good job, Kamala. That wasn't awkward at all. But now I have my own room on the Chimera. Is this really happening?
And with that, we will call it here. So, If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button. It helps out the channel a lot. If you are new, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.